You brought Joe Judge in here because he was supposed to have the Bill Belichick effect on your franchise, and that means you were going to play smart football. You're not going to penalize yourself. You're going to know when to use your timeouts, not lose your memory. You know, how many timeouts did they blow when Eli Manning was the quarterback?
I mean, it was every week we were talking about
It's ridiculous. It's mind-numbing, actually. It is mind-numbing just how stupid they can be at times. And then, this is a game that they should have won. Patrick Graham was playing rope-a-dope the whole night. Just two safeties deep. Brian Griese and Louis Riddick were pointing that out over and over and over again. And there was no way that the vaunted Chiefs offense was just going to sit there and take the short passes and just run the ball down the throats of the Giants. And he just kept daring them to do the same thing over and over and over. And eventually they were going to make mistakes. The Giants defense came up with big play after big play, if you ask me. And it was the Giants offense that, again, it's just a freaking enigma. And the amount of penalties that, happened in the fourth quarter against the Giants on defense. And then, of course, I'm not going to kill Daniel Jones for the last series. I mean, he's got nobody open. He's got people collapsing on him. People are like, he's got to get rid of the ball. Well, where the hell would you like him to throw it when they're running double slants all the freaking time? I mean, I'll tell you, I was livid last night watching this because they came in and they needed to win the game. And, this is the thing that bothers me the most about the Giants when you watch them. They are listless at times. They look like they're lost on offense at times. And when their defense plays like this last night and they get the key turnovers and, forcing fumbles, which was, on Travis Kelce, which was perfect at the time. Yep. And they finally come down the field. They throw the ball to Evan Ingram. He actually catches it for a touchdown. You're thinking, you know what? The Giants can win this game. They are in this game. And I remember I was texting with a bunch of my Giant fan friends at halftime going, all right, it wasn't pretty, but you're in the game. You are right there. You can win this football game. And then, of course, you got, just so like the Elijah Penny of.
How stupid. And I understand if you don't like the rule, you like the rule, whatever. You cannot point in a guy's face and then get in his face mask and then yell at him after a key play.
You know what that is?
It is a point of emphasis. That's bad coaching is what that is.
Well, it's bad coaching. Yeah, but it's also on the player, too, because the player, doesn't touch the ball a lot, doesn't really have an opportunity to make big plays. Here they are on national television. So what do we do on national television? We got to make ourselves the center of attention. If we make a big play, everybody has to see that we do that. And here's my number. Here's who I am. And let me get in the face of a Chief defender and let me get 15 yards on that play. That's the game right there. That is the game for me right there.
Well, also the offsides penalty on the interception, too, with O'Shane Jimenez is another one. Now, I don't want to get on the defense too much. The defense was great. Defense did enough to win the game.
They held them to 6 points in the second half.
They were great, but that was a killer. That was an absolute killer.
The blown timeouts, the misuse of timeouts. The lack of, just awareness. You're supposed to be aware of the way the game is going, the way it's unfolding. That's why you're the head coach. I'm telling you, Rob Saleh better take a page and take a look at this last night because this is going to be an indictment on Joe Judge on the mistakes that they made, the blown timeouts, the wrong way to use timeouts, the inability to I don't know, look like a legitimate football team. And the defense did. And I'm sorry, Daniel Jones has got to win this game last night.
No, I know. Absolutely. And one that really bothered me, too, I mentioned before, I understand it's just a Hail Mary, but the end of the first half, and I was watching Peyton and Eli at this point, when there's a delay of game, Peyton Manning was apoplectic. When there was a delay of game, when they had a shot, they were going to throw a Hail Mary, then they ended up taking a knee going into the first half. He put his hands on his head, and he went, delay of game. He was just disgusted by that.
Right.
And that was just one bit of how clueless the Giants were last night, and it cost them the football game. That's one little example. And then the offsides and obviously the taunting and everything else and the misuse of the time. It was just stacking. It was almost like they were trying to lose the game.
Well, I know that they weren't trying to lose it. All I can tell you is that the amount of mistakes, and it looks bad for the head coach. I don't know what else to tell you. I've been a Joe Judge fan. I felt like his hard, kind of rough and tumble style was going to be good, and
they're not listening this year.
Something.
Last year the message was getting through. This year the message is not getting through.
God,
it's just not. So so now what? You got the trade deadline coming up. I mean, and Daniel Jones, the last couple of plays, I don't know.
That's
what
not on him, though. It's not on him.
I mean, he's getting swarmed.
That's right. So it's not on him.
But I just don't understand how that even happens. Like, you got to get a feel. How many times we've seen it in the NFL where that team goes down that needs a field goal to tie the game?
And easily gets it. Now, I will say that he's
or
also
at least
running,
moves the ball a little bit. Two sacks never happens.
I would also say that he's running out of wide receivers. Sterling Shepard cannot stay on the field. He had Darius Slayton for a touchdown.
Yeah.
There was a holding call on the Chiefs, but these are the plays that have to be made, man. I'm sorry. I mean, you don't have. They're playing man coverage. You got a great route run, and Slayton is right there. Then he comes back and they run another slant and he drops another pass. It is so frustrating. It's like, come on, guys, let's go. You can do this. I mean, I don't even know where. There's so many things to talk about here, and I know Giant fans have got a litany of things that they want to get off their chest this morning, and rightfully so. I mean. Yeah. That was frustrating. And Patrick Graham's defensive, he didn't blitz once. They just sat back there 20 yards deep, and Riddick and Brian Greasy kept pointing it out. This is what they're doing. They're trying to frustrate Patrick Mahomes. They're trying to, you could have all the little stuff, and then we'll try to rally and try to get a fumble. They got a couple fumbles. They had an interception. It was working.
Yeah, it worked. The entire night it worked,
God,
man.
it was like, and that was maddening. It was a flag fest on top of the rope-a-dope defense.
I know, yeah, though. It's every single week, and especially it's even more evident in some of these standalone national TV games because you're focused on it. You see how many penalties are called. But, yeah, I mean, if this is the type of game that you need to see your head coach and quarterback be at their best, this was a massive failure. If the rest of this season is trying to figure out if you've got the right guys in place in the most important parts of the team, this was a massive failure from the coach and the quarterback. And I don't want to hear about how, they were a big underdog and, the Chiefs. The Chiefs have not played well, and they didn't even play well last night. They are not the Chiefs, the Super Bowl Chiefs of a couple of years ago. They're not the AFC Championship Chiefs of last year. They've been bad. Patrick Mahomes was still forcing stuff. I mean, you get this opportunity right off the bat where you frustrate Patrick Mahomes. He throws the ball into 7 guys randomly. It bounces up in the air. You get an interception. And then, boom, before you could blink and have any sort of momentum, here's Daniel Jones staring at a wide receiver and throwing a horrendous pick to give it right back to the Chiefs. I mean, they barely scored last night, the Chiefs, considering who they are. And you gave them a touchdown.
6 points in the second half is all you need to know, man. And then, the loss of timeouts, and that's, look, I watched a little bit of the Peyton and Eli thing. It's a little distracting for me because you're just seeing them talking about football. But the
Jon Stewart thing was just went too long, and then there was a delay, and I had to turn that off.
Well, I didn't say that, so I don't really care. But to me, what you don't have there is you don't have obviously a play-by-play guy getting in the way. It's just those two guys talking about football, which is fine.
Strahan being on there was good for Giant fans. I bet you they enjoyed that.
I mean, if you're a Giant fan, it's great. But so I'm not a Giant fan, and I'm not a Chiefs fan. I am a Patrick Mahomes fan for sure. But I'd rather just watch the game, and I'd rather hear it done, with the voices as opposed to the boxes on the side. But be that as it may, you could just see the frustration. I did watch a little bit of the third quarter with Peyton and Eli. Both of them were frustrated about different things that were going on. Even the Chiefs burned a timeout because they lost track of the time when there was an incomplete pass that was called and it was right. It's amazing to me. These guys do this every day. And, one of the things that I really took pride with when I was on the field was aware of the down clock, the time clock, the 2-minute warning. I was aware of everything. And I very rarely ever burn dopey timeouts. It seems like the Giants do this, no matter who the quarterback is. It's like timeout, or there's timeouts on defense. I mean, there's all these unorganized chaos is what it is. And if their headsets go out, it's all of a sudden all hell breaks loose in their sideline and they just have no answer for it.
Yeah, that's not what Joe Judge was last year. That's not what we were sold on Joe Judge. It was supposed to be buttoned up. This team was going to be the most prepared. This team was going to know everything that they needed to know. There wasn't going to be bad penalties, whatever it was. And last night was a direct opposite of that. It just, I don't know. I don't know where this season's going to go. It doesn't feel like it's going to go in a good direction.
No, it's done. It's done
They need
now.
to trade. They need to trade some guys. And quite frankly, it's enough with certain players on this team. It's enough with Saquon Barkley. It's enough with Sterling Shepard. It's enough with Evan Ingram. And quite frankly, it's going to be enough with Daniel Jones at the end of the year. I'm sorry to say it. He's a good kid, but it's just not. It's not happening. It's not happening. And last night was that extreme example. If it's an audition for you keeping your job in that situation, it was a failure. Now I don't know what they'll do with the head coach, but it's not working. These guys, we overrate these guys so much. We're like, look at this Giants offense, man. Look at this. Look at all the weapons that they have.
They haven't been together. That's the problem.
But even when they are together, they're not any good. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, honestly, what's the difference if Saquon Barkley's there or not?
I don't know if Saquon Barkley and Kenny Golladay are out there. It's different. It is.
Saquon Barkley's a non-factor.
Well, he's always hurt. That's the problem. When he's not hurt, he'll come back.
What did he do when he was healthy this year? Nothing.
Well, he was coming off of a knee injury, Biggs. Come on, man.
Whatever.
Why are we even arguing about him? He wasn't even a part of the game. It's not even about him.
I know, but it's about the Giants and where they are and who they think they are, and they're not any good. These guys aren't any good. They're either hurt or they're bad. So that's the point. Is the fact that now it's another lost season this morning. I mean, you even said it. It's over. It's done. It's another lost season. So it's time to look forward of how you get better. And how you get better is getting some of the guys out of here that don't contribute.
Well,
not doing anything.
Well, the amazing thing is that they're in the NFC, which is just absolutely loaded with great teams. I mean, every division's got a leader. The Western Conference or the West Division, NFC West Division is loaded. The Giants don't have a shot here. They're not catching the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's going to be practicing this week, probably most likely playing. It's just such a downer, man. Especially after Mike White went on Monday.
Well, I know.
You had the everyday man go out there and throw for 400 yards and 3 TDs and
against
get a really
great
good team.
Yeah, against a great team.
And by the way, kudos to Zach Wilson. Because Mike White basically said that Zach Wilson was great after the game.
Yep.
And he and his girlfriend, sent, great texts to Mike and his wife.
Good.
Everything was, hunky-dory. It wasn't like it was being portrayed yesterday. So,
well, that was just one caller that we got corrected. So, Yeah, I mean, that was just one guy who was wrong. But that's great that Zach Wilson is doing what he should be doing. And thank God we got more Mike White on Thursday.
Oh, God, I can't even, and then between watching the Knicks completely fall flat in the third quarter last night.
That was this is just a terrible loss against a team that was completely short-handed.
They're missing 2 of their stars.
Yeah, they just got outplayed last night.
What happened to Julius Randle? Did he get hurt or anything?
No, well, he was pretty. I mean, he was good in the beginning of last night, and then
he just completely disappeared. Checked out.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.